think that way. Here is what Deion Sanders said today, along with those in his support group, after, admitting that he had cancer, bladder cancer that was removed. The bladder was removed. He's going through many changes in life, as if you've been through that before, or prostate cancer. Here's a couple of comments from Coach Prime.
Every year, Coach goes for a CT scan of his vascular pattern to make sure, the blood clots are away. So with this scan, everything turned out really great from the vascular side. About 2 weeks later, we get a text from his primary care doctor that said, I need to talk to you and Coach. We need to refer you guys to a urologist. So about 3 days later, we go see a urologist. They go in for a quick procedure. The urologist told us, hey, within 10 minutes, I can tell you guys if he's going to need another procedure or if we just need to do these follow-up appointments. And the doctor told us, okay, you guys are going to need another procedure. I'm going to refer you to my colleague, Dr. Kurkasia. But at this point, you have a bladder tumor. And from there, we'll go get it removed. And
the tumor was very high grade, invading through the bladder wall, not into the muscle layer, something we call very high risk, non-muscle invasive bladder cancer. So we did discuss options. We discussed some options of treatment in the bladder, and we discussed bladder removal as well. Given his commitments to his family and to the team, elected to undergo a bladder removal. We performed a full robot-assisted laparoscopic bladder removal and creation of a new bladder. And I am pleased to report that the results from the surgery are that he is cured from the cancer.
You can clap, it's okay. This wasn't easy. Men, everybody, get checked out. Because if it wasn't for me getting tested for something else, they wouldn't have stumbled up on this. And make sure you go to get the right care, because without wonderful people like this, I probably wouldn't be sitting here today, because it grew so expeditiously, I could say. But please get yourself checked out, especially African-American men. We don't like going to the doctors. We don't like nothing to do with a doctor. You know that. So I'm not just talking to the brothers. I'm talking to my Caucasian brothers, my Hispanic brothers, my Asian brothers, my everybody, and my sisters. And that's all, y'all. Get checked out. It's been tough. I think I dropped 25 pounds. I was like a Atlanta Falcon prime at one point, and just dealing with the catheter, dealing with all the stuff that I had to deal with. And right now I'm still dealing with going to the bathroom. Like, it's a whole life change. Like, I can't, and I'm gonna be transparent, I can't pee like I used to pee. It's totally different. And I mean, thank God, I depend on depend. If you know what I mean. I truly depend on depend. Like, I cannot control my bladder. It is real, it is real. So if you see porta potty on the sideline, it's real, okay? I'm just telling you right now, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see the practice, you're gonna see one, because it is unbelievable. Like, dozing off and waking up, first thing I'm grabbing my crotch to see if I peed on myself.
All right. Everything he said, for anyone who's ever had to deal with prostate cancer, bladder cancer, any kind of cancer, he's right. American men, for whatever reason, hate being tested. They hate going to the doctor, whatever reasons whatsoever. I can relate a little bit that's personally. I'll get to that later on, not about bladder cancer. But the good news, he's okay. And they caught it because he went to get tested. And then he got tested again. He caught it. So Deion is full throttle. It will be a little bit different, as he mentioned, the I guess you could say sense of humor with the porta potty at practice and on the sideline during the games. But he is okay after being kind of quiet, really, since the NFL draft, and also with a short and very quick appearance at Big 12 Media Days.
I'm wondering if just a couple weeks ago he was still waiting to find out, what the prognosis was for him.
No, because the doctor later on said that this was all done and finished by mid-May.
Yeah, so that's why I'm getting a little confused. I didn't bring it up then, but I guess he didn't want to, I guess he didn't want to be there that long that day, I guess. I don't know. And that was a pretty good excuse not to do it. But he had
to go to the bathroom. He couldn't stay up on the stage that long. Yeah, seriously.
True, true. But glad to hear that he's doing okay. And I didn't even realize at Big 12 Media Days when he was there. We were doing something, recording an interview because he wasn't there that long. And then when Garrett told me, like, did you see Prime? And I'm like, no. And he's like, yeah, he was walking out just a second ago. And I was like, okay. But super happy that he's okay and that he's cancer free and that this wasn't a retirement or a step away press conference.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great news, obviously, to hear that everything's okay and you didn't quite know when we were heading into the weekend what this press conference was going to be about. We knew he had health issues. We knew that he had to kind of dip in and out during Big 12 Media Days. Thought at one point he wasn't even going to be there and did make you wonder what was going on. But sometimes it's not for us to know right away. It's not our business. And Deion relayed the news on his own terms and appreciative that he's let the world know what was going on, and now we can all be thankful that he's doing all right. I know he's got his detractors, but I think even those folks can sit back for 1 second and stop criticizing him as a coach or as a parent and just be happy for a fellow person that they got their cancer taken care of. And hopefully with his influence, his advice there for maybe somebody who was on the fence, now that they've heard Deion Sanders say, hey, go get tested, here's why it could save your life, then those people will follow through and maybe save their own lives or somebody else's that they love as a result. So nothing but a positive message there that I hope some people who maybe have been a little bit stubborn do listen to, maybe because it's Deion, because he has that kind of influence. But, yeah, that's great to know what was going on. I didn't expect that we'd have to hear something because he's had so many health issues over the years. It just kind of comes with the territory now with him. But this is obviously a much more serious matter, although the others were serious in their own right. And so, yeah, I'm glad that this was a happy press conference when all was said and done and that he's now able to move forward and hopefully feeling a lot better. And obviously things will be a little bit different, like you mentioned, with the urinating issue and having to have a bathroom close by. I mean, I know you relate to that when you had your procedure not that long ago, and probably various others out there listening do as well. But you'll take that over the alternative, right? So, yeah, I'm glad that Deion's okay. I'm glad he's going to be roaming those sidelines, even if sometimes it's maybe a little bit more slower maybe or whatever. But he's going to be on those sidelines, and he's going to be around, and that's the great news.
Yeah, I'm happy for him, thrilled for him. It is a change of life. Everyone knows that back in May of last year, I had my prostate removed. A lot of it, I was right on the edge of what they call a Gleason report. I could have probably just continued to just make sure everything was okay, but because of my oldest brother, I felt it was better. My urologist told me he thought it was better for me to go ahead and make that change. It's a change of life. When I'm playing golf, I got to be careful to make sure that I know where everything is if I need to duck away and pee. I don't have it like him, though. I don't have it where Deion appears. The bladder being removed compared to the prostate is a much bigger deal. The bladder's what holds it. The prostate's what kind of like a filter and kicks your mind, hey, you got to pee. I feel that, but I'm not going to make it about me. It's about him, but I do feel for him. I don't have any kind of a bag. They have, I'll tell you what they do. What do they call the bags? Is it
catheter?
A catheter? They now have them where they can strap it to your thigh like it's a gun. And I had that early on. Now I don't do that. Rarely do I ever have like, oh my goodness, I sleep at night. I wake up because I feel like I have to do it. But yeah, it's a huge difference. And there are times you've got to be aware of where you are, what you have with you. And I wish him the best of luck in getting through the physical therapy part of it to make sure one day he doesn't have to worry about what he's doing, falling asleep and waking up in his bed wet.
Yeah. He did say about stubborn going to the doctor. I do like, I'll tell people about just one of the things that we kind of experienced with you is you weren't stubborn about it. Like you went and got it, but you certainly had that trepidation about everything.
Oh yeah.
Like you had a little bit of like, oh no, I'll tough it out. Like it'll be fine. And then, like those things are completely natural that everybody's gonna feel. The other thought I have is like listening to you, listening to Deion is that it is so weird that our bodies have all these parts that Like, we'd like to have them all to function completely perfectly, but they just like, yeah, you don't need them.
Yeah, there's certain things,
gallbladder,
gallbladder,
prostate, tonsils, like,
No, you do need some of the prostate is necessary, but you can live without it.
But you can live without it. You're just like, yeah, the car will run. It just might drip a little, and you're like, okay, thanks.
But the good news here again is about the being checked part. My oldest brother didn't for a long time, came back to haunt him. And it was too late by the time. He still had a good 4 to 5, 6 years left in him, which thank God he did. But for every man, we've had Joe Theismann on talking about PSA levels and much more. And that's why if you're a man 40, 45 and older, please go get your regular checkups. And hopefully there's nothing there. But if there is, then they can catch it in time.
Yeah, and I'd be willing to bet somebody out there who probably doesn't listen to their doctor, listen to their friends, would actually be swayed by Deion. So I do think that will be beneficial to somebody somewhere out there. And again, just glad that he's okay. Was curious heading into the weekend. I did feel like if it was something along the lines of retirement due to a health issue, I do think it would have leaked out, and that's why I was not really concerned that this was going to be that, because I just feel like there's no way that would have been held indoors for 3 days if it was something like retirement coming up. So, still weighed that was a possibility because you don't know until you know. But I think that the ability for Colorado to rally around him will be very important. And obviously, we'd heard all summer long how he wasn't really around. He was dealing with these health issues, and then he was very touchy about it, or I don't know if maybe touchy is the right word, but he obviously wasn't going to acknowledge it at Big 12 Media Days, got kind of pissed when somebody asked him about it or just deflected away from it. And so now we understand a little bit more as to why maybe he was guarding it back then. He just wasn't ready for one reason or another to go ahead and tell the world. But now he has. So Colorado moves forward, and he moves forward a little bit different, but still here, and that's the great thing. And I find them a really interesting team. Not that that's now the more important thing again, but just going back to football, I do find them to be a fascinating team entering this year. I mean, I think you can make a compelling case for why every team in the Big 12 or any league right now, this is the time to look into the interesting things about them. But Colorado in particular, post Shador, post Travis Hunter, the interest he's brought there in the last couple of years, a Heisman Trophy, all those things. I mean, Colorado matters because of one reason and one reason only, and that's Deion Sanders.
Yep.
And without him, we know what that looked like the last few years before he arrived there. It was a program that still had some history to it, but was pretty much lost in the shuffle and very forgettable in some ways. And they moved to the Big 12. He's hired prior to that, and there's a lot going on that's brought attention to them. And I just hope that they can keep their resurgence and their